All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Readers. I quickly want to start by saying I love you, Dad, so much. It's actually really funny. My dad watches almost every episode, has no idea what any of these lines or the words actually means, but I love you so much for listening, okay? So let's get into it. I've got a mixed bag of stocks here. Most of these should be familiar, all right? We're going to look at TTOO, AVTX, FNGR, TLRY, and CGC, okay? So starting here, look, we're kind of living in the new realities of TTOO, but in a lot of ways, nothing has really changed except for the numbers, all right? We were where we were with the moving averages. We're clearly now under them. And then I'm zoomed out this far for a reason, because we're actually knocking on the door of all-time lows once again on TTOO, okay? AVTX, look, today was an interesting day. There were moments of good. It wasn't a horrible day, and if you watched yesterday's video, you actually kind of saw my worries that we were gonna have a bad day today. So overall, for me, it was a decent day, I would say. Obviously, nothing special by any means, but look, the same story there, right? FNGR, fingermotion. So I was really bullish on the stock. It did a couple days where I started to get worried, and it's actually seemingly turning a little bit. So I don't know where it ended today. I had a really busy day actually, but yeah, I'm gonna do that one live, and I'm curious to see if it's actually giving me another reason to go back in or not. All right, TLRY. Okay, so I have not looked at the weed stocks for a bit, so I actually don't know what TLRY and CGC look like. So we will do that live together. The last time I remember covering them, they were all basically like, you better hold the lines or you're going to lose them. So I'm actually not sure what happened with those. But before we go any further and I give you more of my thoughts and opinions, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We'll take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how these things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages. There are none anymore because the prices have shifted. So I will draw some new horizontal support and resistance lines, and then when we are done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please subscribe to this channel, share this video online with your friends, comment good or bad. Look, anything you can do helps me so much with these YouTube algorithms, but just being here, letting me conversate with you, oh, I appreciate everything so much. So let's get into it. And TTOO. Okay, look, a lot happened in the last 2 days here. Okay, I keep stressing, and I'm going to say it one more time. It's really easy to focus on losing a lot of money, and believe me, this used to happen to me so frequently. Like, I still lose money. I'm not pretending I don't, right? But like, I was on the other side of the coin. I used to play earnings a lot, and you can see what happens, all right? I really want to stress that the silver lining in all of this bad right here, if you had some bad, was the learning moment that comes out from it. There was a person that was like, look, I'm never going to play penny stocks again. And I'm not here actually disagreeing with that. In a lot of ways, it's so much safer to play with different stocks because of reasons like this, okay? At the minimum, I just think it's really important to understand that some stocks require different rules than others. You know what I mean? And really, the twofold that I'm really trying to highlight, number one is earnings specifically. Number two is the reverse split trapdoor. Okay, it's something that I talk about on a number of videos, and you know, it really doesn't sink in until you see. Listen, I call it a trap door for a reason. All right, like, I don't say it to sound funny or like, literally, you don't know when you're gonna take the wrong step. They're gonna pull the lever and you're gonna fall, and that's essentially what happened here. And look, there were a lot of honest. The one thing I love about our community here in this chart readers community, whether you're on the Discord, whether you're in Twitter, whether you're in the like wherever you're reaching out to me, right? Like, you can talk about the bad and no one's going to attack you for being a bad or dumb trader, right? And there were a lot of people that were honest and talked about eating a fat loss. Yes, like yesterday was a 40% loss just by itself yesterday. Today goes down again another, right? So like, hopefully you didn't, you know, hope that today would magically go up. You can see I always talk about days after the dojis, and we'll get to all the like chart things immediately, right? But like the two real things again are earnings are dangerous. And I think we all, and I'm learning here too, like I'm not pretending, but I think we all learned pulling up the earnings date does not mean that they're pulling it up for good news. All right. I didn't know that answer. It made a lot of sense to believe it. Right. And I still necessarily don't know the correlation. Like maybe this is an outlier. Right. I don't know. And I honestly don't know. Right. But I think we immediately can say together that moving it up isn't automatically good news. Again, moving it up is bullish, and it'll bring you a few good green candles when you probably don't deserve it. But day before you jump out, right? And that's what we saw here. Okay, so earnings, reverse split, and then yeah, I think just in general understanding the dip, like you never have to worry about this if you're trading a Google, an Amazon, a Tesla, right? Like, don't get me wrong, you're not gonna rock it like we did here. You're not gonna go from what was 8 cents all the way up to 64 at one point, right? But you know, there are pros and cons with playing parabolic stocks, right? So I'm so confident that you will learn from this, because I'm telling you, this exact thing has happened to me on so many other when I say so many, like I didn't learn it on the first one. All right, I was dumb enough to think I was smart enough, right? Like I sincerely believe that like I can listen to the last earnings, I could listen to the guidance, I could listen to all the news, I can anticipate and foresee, and then I get hit with this. You know what I mean? And like, it really took it happening a few times for me to finally be like, all right, dude, either you need to stop or you're going to just keep on watching this. You know what I mean? So I sincerely hope, and I said it on the last video, I'm going to say it again. I hope you're not sitting here blaming short attacks. I hope you're not sitting here blaming manipulation. Like the ghost of manipulation does not exist. All right. I sincerely believe that. You know, I'm not necessarily here to argue with it if you don't. I'm not forcing you, right? But yeah, these are moments that will repeat themselves, and just avoid them. All right. In terms of the technicals, look, I'm going to talk. I am not a candle shape trader, but I generally say when you get a doji, the day after generally matters. You know, like we had a doji, we got another doji, that wasn't a bad candle. Well, this is a bad doji, that's a bad afterward, right? So this to me is a doji. Again, is it as textbook as something like that? It's not. But for me, I'm loose enough with it to where that's good enough, and I'm anticipating another big move up or down. And it was so hard to believe that it was going to go up that I really hope that this wasn't that surprising to you and you hit eject well before more pain came. All right. In terms of the earnings report themselves, listen, I didn't listen to a single word of it because I didn't need to. And I was replying to Twitter questions pretty much live while the CEO was talking. And my main point was there is nothing that can be done to erase the fact that tomorrow, which is now today, we're reverse splitting. You know what I mean? Like if you're going to come with that right, like what are you, like, unless you tell me you're gonna donate enough shares or like whatever, some like there was nothing the CEO could have said to erase it. There was nothing the CEO could have said to avoid this follow through. The damage was done in the morning. It was, you know. And I one last time hope that you're learning from this, and for real, it's you're the last candle. We wicked it today, it looks like. What was the low of the day? 1650. Sorry. Oh my gosh, I was so dyslexic. I don't even know where I got that 1650. The low was 680. That was horrible. That was actually a little bit lower than the line I just drew. if we lose this line, we're falling deeper and deeper into all-time lows. I always say it. I generally assume once you fall into all-time lows, you're gonna lose 20%, then another 20%, then another 20%, until the hand of God decides to come down and save the stock, all right? I don't say that to be offensive to anyone religious, but like when you fall into the black abyss of nothing, the only thing that can save you is the hand of God, all right? There is no other miracle out there that will do it, all right? So you cannot go lower than that. That just getting there is another big fall, right? You're basically giving up 25% if you go from 6 to 8. It's a little closer to 7, so I guess it's not that big a fall, but you get it, right? There is no reason to believe good. Maybe at some point we'll see what I generally call a bottom feeder swing, all right? What does that mean? All right, we generally fall really far from the 8, fall really far from the 8, and then end up coming back to the 8. I believe we are going to be going farther and farther down from the 8. It'll start to catch up, and then yeah, at some point we'll make a similar little like recovery and try to get back to it. We will not be crossing this 8 anytime soon. We will not be crossing that 20 anytime soon. These are now going to be our biggest enemies, if I can guess, because look, it wasn't that long ago we were living that life already. So hey, TTOO, learn from this. Avoid this again, and if you can actually avoid, like you literally heard me say, I should have avoided more, right? I left some profit on the table. That was silly, but yeah, I knew to avoid it. I know to avoid it again. When you do that over and over and over and over for the rest of your trading career, you will succeed and not fall for these, all right? Hey, best of luck to you. You know, if you disagree with anything, don't hesitate to do that, all right? AVTX. Let's talk about AVTX today. Today was an interesting day. Today was an interesting day. All right. Let's start with a few things. On yesterday's video, I was sincerely worried about 13 cents, 13 cents worries. There's no other way of saying it, right? I was honest. I rarely tell you guys and gals where my money is, okay? I don't want people to be like, oh man, he's in it. I should be in it. He's a really good trader. Like, dude, I get a lot of them wrong, all right? I'm a little crackhead gambler. It's honestly what I like calling myself, all right? I got in on this day because I thought that the peak to 18 was starting to kind of give me some signals. I often talk about moving my own money on 2 different indicators. We're using chart readers here, and there were things that I liked, okay? Unfortunately, we did not see the follow through yesterday. We actually fell as low as 14, but I was ready for a fall to 14. It didn't freak me out. I didn't panic sale. It was chill. We obviously recovered back to 15. Going into today, I was worried, and I'm not pretending I wasn't worried. I'm also not pretending that I wasn't worried about 13 cents, okay? Couple reasons why I talked about that. This Friday was actually a red day. This Friday was actually a red day. This Friday looks like a green day, but again, you know it if you watch enough of my videos. This is a bad green candle. This opens at 14, you can see it in the box over there, and then closes down here at 12. More people lost 16%, more people lost 2 cents than they gained 2 cents, all right? And then this Friday was a red. So bad. This one was bad too. Like there were enough bad Fridays for me to believe that this one was. And hey, I actually was ready to sell at 13. I was not going to play around with it. I just, did it happen? It didn't happen. And that's a beautiful thing. That was my biggest fear, and check. Didn't happen. That makes me feel comfortable. The next thing we were hunting for was essentially, let's keep the pattern, right? And the one thing I've talked about was there are moments where we don't have the pattern and then come back to it, like green, red, couple more reds, then back to green, red. So I obviously wanted to keep the green, red, because yeah, I want a green day, right? Who doesn't? But a little bit of me, like I said, was ready for hopefully not a 13 fear, maybe another 14, hopefully holding that 20 average just above it, and then, go from there, right? So in a lot of ways, no double red is a good check mark. There were moments where it actually kind of looked like it was ready to peak again. You know what I mean? And again, I think, excuse me, a little hiccup there. End of the day, look, this stock is more about the second day than it is the today. And I don't think today counted enough for if tomorrow's a green candle to be like, oh, or not tomorrow, Monday, right? But, oh, that's our signal that we got 2 greens in a row. No, I need Monday to be green, and then I actually need Tuesday to be green as well, all right? Look, today was a low volume day, but the 63 million was still enough to be at least a top 10 volume mover today. All right. So this stock is slowly becoming a volume king. This, in my opinion, is starting to replace NVOS. And that's actually why I'm starting to cover it. Look, again, do I believe it's going to start making the crazy run up? My money's in it. So I guess in a little bit of way, the answer is yes. But I'm not here fanboying. I'm not here assuming anything. We need 2 good days in a row to start to believe. I do not have 92-cent dreams. I for sure do not have gap fill dreams. The only thing I'm anticipating right now is 20 cents. After 20 cents, we'll hopefully talk about 35. All right. This is a 15-cent stock. And if you're thinking about 90s and dollar pluses, you're setting yourself up for bad. Because again, going from 15 to just 30 is 2x. And you will ignore that if you're only looking at 90. You know what I mean? And you can't ignore 100% gain, right? So slow and steady ain't bad. Keep your hunger at bay is an easy way of saying it. But again, the same moral of the story is 2 days in a row. Today does not count as a good day. Look, 0 is not a bad day, but 0 is not a good day either, right? Like at that point, I just leave my money in the bank and not have any gray hairs as I see it going up and down, right? So Monday needs to be good. Tuesday needs to be good. Hopefully Wednesday flies. Like I'm expecting the 3rd day to do it, right? So AVTX, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Otherwise, let's keep going to FNGR. All right, finger motion. This is interesting right here. This is interesting, okay? I was wildly bullish right here. I was actually starting to get very, very bullish on this way up. These 2 days scared me a little bit, and I actually had to hit eject, okay? And the main reason I honestly had to hit eject was I actually had a good amount of money in finger motion, and finger motion for me is just a little too volatile at times to hold that kind of money. It either needs to like maintain and help me feel comfortable. Once I saw that 2nd day go down, I got scared. I can't even pretend it, all right? I'm now curious to see if we're going to confirm on Monday. This is a really, really interesting doji over a resistance that I actually thought was going to be too hard to fail. End of the day, I often say, you know, the moving averages I think matter than my white lines. And yeah, I think I should have held that theory. Like the moving averages were going to be hard to hold, especially with 3 of them right here. Hard to lose. And yeah, it was very hard to lose. So I think a little bit of that was me just getting gun shy. But look, I always say the candle after the doji tends to tell the truth, and there's a real legit shot that we have a $7, if not maybe even 730 target, 725 target coming in for Monday. And then again, 757 is my money line. All right. Why do I keep saying that? There used to be a lot of insignificant trading, All right. It starts to get real a little closer to the halfway point of 2021. This line is the only line that runs through. And this line up here is still kind of what I call the mix of shady and not shady. And what does shady mean? Look, I click on an arbitrary day. The volume on the whole day was 0.0. All right. I click right here, arbitrary day, only 9,000 shares traded. I click into here when we're up in this like $10 world, right? Only 18,000 shares traded, all right? As I start to come here, we're now in the hundreds. As I look here, we're obviously in the millions. Like the volume is significantly different here than here, and that's why I think this is the money line. The second that crosses, I find it hard to believe that much else will stop it, all right? So yeah, finger motion. Listen, this is, I think, back on the radar. I think a real must watch. And look, I think in the worst case, if it was going to drop, we might see a drop to basically $6, roughly 10% drop, roughly. Man, there's a lot to like. MACD looks like it's diverging again, and obviously in the positive. RSI is still rather low, and it wasn't that long ago where we were living in the high 90s as well as basically in the 70s, right? So it's in a comfortable little zone here. That's a nice little divergence up. We're there's still reason to believe here. There for sure is. And again, this ain't a bad weekly. This ain't a bad weekly. Not quite the big confirmation coming off that doji. You can essentially say doji doji. Let's see if the next week is the big week. But finger motion, I think that there's a reason to like it. Like I said, I think I got a little too scared. I got too scared of a volatile stock. Is what it is. But hey, that's the beauty of swing trading. You can get out at the wrong time, but get back in if you see the signal, right? So this one will be on my radar. And let's get into the weed sector, starting with TLRY. Let's take a look at TLRY right here. Damn, that's how it ended. That's not good. Damn. All right. Look, so where are we? We are now starting to show a lot of signals that this 8 moving average is not our friend. Okay, there is like the backbone of these videos are good things happen over these two lines. You can see it right here. Bad things happen under these two lines. We're doing it here, and we've been doing it for a while. What ends up happening is you just can't get over the 8. You just can't get over the 8. When you do, you kind of hit the 20. This is a better example, but this is an even better example. Like you just get stuck under the 8, maybe can get to the 20, back under the 8. You can see that was for months and months and months, right? Like it seems like we are gonna be well under this 8 for a bit. Maybe at some point we'll escape it and get back up to the 20, but I think all we're gonna now be doing on TLRY is trading under the 8 and the 20. Listen, I like that silence right there was just me trying to hopefully find some good news. I am looking at everything and I see nothing but bad. You know, I am not here to be a fan. Like I want these stocks to do well, right? Like I know there's a lot of passionate holders in this sector, right? Like I myself, like I sincerely believe that like federalization was going to be happening by now, back in the 2015, 16, 17 days, you know? So I'm just wildly shocked at the environment that we're in, right? But right now, there is way more bad than good. We are under all 5 moving averages. You break all 5 and fly, you lose all 5 and die. We are in the process of dying. I'm seeing a struggle to break the 8. I know that this is a stock that has habitually failed the 8 and the 20, right? Habitually failed the 8 and the 20. Where are we to this? Dude, ideally we don't go any lower than 181. Hopefully 181 could be a bounce point. It starts to become a conversation of are we coming back down to 151 and maybe touching all-time lows from there. I'm gonna draw the line. And I actually ended up going with this one instead of this one as I re-looked at it, and you can see this one actually hits the top of this one. I'm going to delete this 169. I think 177 is the next really, really critical moment. Otherwise, it might be a hard fall there. Where are we compared to the bottom of this? We're trying to hold it right now. Hopefully $2 does a decent job to hold. Otherwise, you're going to hard fall to 177. 177 has to hold. Otherwise, it will be a hard fall to 160. I don't think 160 is actually worth drawing because I think that'll take us pretty much down to that 150 all-time lows. When my voice gets low, you can tell it like hurts my heart to say these bad things, all right? But I would much rather know that the sky was black and bad things were happening than to pretend it was blue and sunny when it's just clearly not, all right? There's more reason for bad than good here. Hey, would some news about federalization or banking or safe or this or that, would that do something magically to the stock? Yeah, for sure. Can I like anticipate that? No. Can I, knock on wood, anticipate the movement of technical analysis? Yeah, that's why I've been making these videos for a minute, right? So more bad than good here. Can't imagine anything good on the weekly. Oh my goodness, we are now doji candle on the weekly. We are under all 5. We actually were under all 5 last week. I think we're coming to one. I think there's more reasonably we're dropping hard than holding, because it kind of actually looks like the MACD is about to slip green under red, just like we are here. That's been bad, man. If there was some good, maybe we'll go up to 215. Where's 215 on the daily? Is that? Yeah, maybe we'll try to like retouch the 100 moving average, but I can't imagine that breaks. TLRY not looking good at all. Damn. Coming into CGC. All right, what am I seeing on CGC? I'm seeing the moving averages doing their best. That's really what I'm seeing here. But truth be told, I think what I just saw on TLRY makes it really, really hard for me to be optimistic on CGC. All right. I know that they are two very different companies. I do realize that. That said, I sincerely believe TLRY is the sector leader in terms of the charts. When TLRY is below all 5 moving averages, it's hard to believe others won't, especially when I see CGC this close to underneath all 5. All right. Man, this 100 line's done an amazing job. We bounced up once, bounced up twice, actually bounced a couple times after that. I don't know how much life this thing has left. I really don't. And then again, kind of the same things we talked about. Look, we're actually not that far away from all-time lows. I think it's worth drawing probably that line right there. Yeah. I don't know if it's worth drawing something in the middle at like 52, but no, I actually don't. Okay. We cannot go under 64 cents. As the 100 moving average slips, we become green, 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 red, 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 red capable. And it might be a real fast fall down to sub 50 cents if we lose 65, 64, 63 cents. Again, I feel like TLRY chart is making it hard for me to believe that this thing's going to do any different. All right. Hopefully we can again bounce. I don't even think we're going to get to 81 cents, honestly. And from there, do you really think do you think I think it's going to break that? No, I don't, right? Like, I barely think we're going to hold that. So 47 cents actually seems way more logical than 80. Not too much good here. Look, someone mentioned Head and Shoulders. I'm not a pattern trader. I don't talk about wedges. I don't talk about inverted this or that, right? Like, I'm just looking at the lines, and right now there's not a lot of good on the lines, right? And last thing to just talk about, dude, this is really bad volume. So not too much more to say here. Let me know if you disagree or what your thoughts are. Otherwise, hey, I appreciate you so much.